Good morning. It is March 4th, 2024, and this is a very, very special edition of the Paul Green Comedy Podcast. Those of you watching on YouTube might notice that there is a very significant historical landmark right behind my right shoulder, right here. That is right. I'm at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C. I am in the midst of the White House, everybody. I am coming to you live from our nation's capital. So, man, it's just kind of a cool experience. By the way, there are some evangelical preachers on a PA system right in front of there. Hopefully, they do not bleed into the mic. Not that I'm opposed to people preaching Jesus, if that's what you're into, but that's not what this podcast is about. This podcast is going for your dreams. If you want salvation in the afterlife, this is not the podcast for you. So, man, just so excited to be here. If you listen to my podcast yesterday, it was a bit of an ordeal to work out all the travel plans to end up here. I was in New Jersey last night. I took a bus from New Jersey to Philadelphia. It was a 3-hour bus ride. I stayed the night in Philadelphia, took an Uber to the rental car company, rented a car, and drove to Washington, D.C., found a parking garage that actually wasn't too bad. It only cost $17. I was expecting it to cost a lot more than that. And then I took a Lime scooter to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. So here I am. Man, just really cool to be here. I've never been to D.C. before, and I've never seen any of the sites, so I pretty much just drove straight to the White House. I haven't looked at anything else. I don't know where anything is. I don't know the geography around here. I literally typed in White House into my GPS from Philadelphia and then just drove straight here and then saw this park. So there's this very beautiful park right in front of the White House, and that's where I'm hanging out. And there was a park bench, and I was like, my gosh, what a cool location to film a podcast talking about dreams. You know, you look at, the entire genesis of this country was a dream, was people who dreamed of a life that did not involve being ruled over by a king. And it all started with that idea, and then that idea grew and grew and grew and led to action, and then more action, and to a war, and then to, intense discussions and politicking and, establishing laws and rules and principles and a Bill of Rights and, what is this country all about? And, I avoid politics a lot because, unfortunately, politics now just seems to be a bad word. There is so much divisiveness in the country, which I think is so unfortunate that we've allowed our political system to be hijacked by two predominant political parties, and that the entire country seems to have been, is it manipulated? Man, I don't want to get too strong on this language because I don't want to turn this into some sort of political grandstand. I will say that I do believe that people should have a freedom to live their life and make their own decisions, and to be able to do so without, as long as those decisions are not in direct, violence or, towards others, violence towards others, theft towards others. But I'll tell you, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, like my good Jesus evangelicals behind me, just preaching away over there through a loudspeaker. Not a big fan of the loudspeaker. I don't think that they should be able to yell louder than the rest of us. But hey, you want to know what? They're doing their thing. I'm doing my thing. I'm just sitting here in a park talking into a microphone, expressing my beliefs. completely free to do so. No Secret Service people are roughing me up and, telling me to shut down. And I think that's really great. Freedom of speech, man, it's a tough one because I understand the ramifications of that statement, and it's been really fascinating as a stand-up comedian to watch the culture around freedom of speech and how it's really under attack. When a comedian says something that somebody doesn't like, or they use the wrong words, or they offend the wrong quote-unquote class of people, and, there's the whole cancel culture concept, and I get both sides, but as a comedian, as an artist, as someone who expresses his ideas for a living, I always side with the comedian, even if the comedian said something that I think is that I personally feel is horrific, or that I personally feel is genuinely offensive, or even genuinely not funny, in my opinion. I'll tell you, I will stand up for their right to say that unfunny, offensive thing all day long. And I really do think that freedom is more important and more significant than the alternative, which is let's govern everybody's speech and try to keep anybody from saying anything that might offend somebody or incite somebody, or be taken, or words that may inspire people to action that actually is illegal. I think there's a big difference between saying words and doing words, and it may be a fine line, but I do feel that line is very, very important, and that the freedom to express one's ideas openly and freely is a very fundamental principle. And as a stand-up comedian, that is what I'm banking on, I think it was maybe Bill Burr was talking about how he did a comedy show somewhere in the Middle East, and then he just got this list of can't talk about this, can't say that. I know some Asian countries, you're not allowed to, you can't say anything bad about the government, or you can't criticize this person or that person. I'm talking very generally here, and I understand that. But, just a very surreal feeling to be here in front of the White House, which hopefully will continue to stand as a beacon for basic, fundamental human rights, the freedom of speech, the freedom of religion, the freedom to pursue happiness. I know that's the Declaration of Independence, not the Bill of Rights. I do know a little bit of American history, everybody. And man, I'll tell you, I am just so grateful that for whatever reason I am living in this country in this time that, although not perfectly, is still seeking to defend those basic human rights. I just, this will happen to me a lot when I'm, out traveling, touring, doing these cool things, and it happened again today. It was about a 2-hour drive from Philadelphia to Washington, D.C., and I just get wrapped up in these feelings of euphoric gratitude, of just how grateful I am for my life, how grateful I am that I get to do these things, how grateful that I am that I can just travel from state to state to state. I've hit 4 states in, 5 if you include my layover in Minneapolis, and 6 if you include where I started. It's I went from Arizona to Minneapolis, Minnesota, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Cape May, New Jersey, back to Philadelphia, drove through Delaware. Hi, I'm in Delaware. Shout out to my Wayne's World friends. To Maryland, I guess technically it's 8 because now I'm in the District of Columbia. 8 different states that I've hit in 2 days, and I've never been harassed. I haven't been patted down. Well, unless you count the airport. I did get zapped by a radiation machine. But, whatever. It's not like they hauled me in for questioning. It's not like there's roadblocks at every state where I got to, show my papers and stuff. It's like, I was just free to do this. And I was just amazed at how many resources there are. I was in Cape May, New Jersey. I had no idea how I was going to get to Washington, D.C. Next thing I know, there's literally a bus station a 15-minute walk from where I was staying that had a bus show up 10 minutes after I arrived that bussed me 3 hours to Philadelphia for $20. And then I got to Philadelphia. He dropped me off at a bus stop at 1:30 in the morning, and I'm now 15 miles away from my hotel. So what I do, I go to my phone, and I type in Uber, and then all of a sudden this car shows up and just picks me up, drives me 15 miles to my hotel. I get in my hotel. I'm really hungry. Now it's 2 a.m. There's a Denny's right next door. I walk to Denny's. I have breakfast. I go back. I sleep. I wake up. I take an Uber from the hotel to a rental car company that I was able to rent a car online. I get a rental car, and then I drive a brand new car all the way from Philadelphia straight into Washington, D.C. I park at this parking garage. It's a little far from the White House. I don't want to walk that far because I had my backpack with my podcast equipment, which was a little heavy. So what was there? A Lime scooter that I pop on my app. I ride a Lime scooter 5 minutes to the White House, and now I'm filming on a cell phone, talking into a microphone that's portable, and I'm going to upload through the internet and just be able to talk about my journey. I mean, it's mind-blowing and so easy, I know, for me to take for granted how many amazing things there are. And that is not to discount how crappy other things are and what people are going through. And I totally get that. And to me, it's just an opportunity for me to always lean on gratitude, because who knows? Who knows what could happen? Who knows how long, things will last, how long the good times will last. And again, I just lean on gratitude. Oh, the evangelicals are playing some beautiful church choral music now. They stopped the preaching. I think it's a recording. For a second, I thought it was live. Anyway, I look back on my life and all the times that I complained, that I had something in my mind to complain about, or something that didn't go well, or, my life wasn't panning out how I wanted. And, I would get in these long spats of depression and whininess and complaining and woe is me. And when I really look back, even in my worst times, all of these incredible things were still there. There were still incredible things in my life. There were still miraculous things to be grateful for. But when I was in those other states of negativity, or those states of victimhood, or those states of woe is me, it's almost like my brain just shut all of those out. It's like a filter or something, to where my brain would consciously filter out everything that was good so that I could focus on the negative and justify the negative feelings that I was having. And just by the same token, when I'm in these states of gratitude, it's almost like a filter kicks in and filters out all of the things that I could be complaining about, all of the things in my life that maybe I wish were different, or, that I don't know. But I don't feel that now. Right now, I just feel very grateful to live in this country, grateful to be able to pursue comedy, grateful for the people in my life who are supporting me and believe in me and provide opportunities for me and genuinely want the best for me. And, I've just seen so many examples of those people in my life, like my buddy last night, Andrew Norelli, who just hooks me up with this random gig in New Jersey. He didn't need to do that. He could have just done the gig by himself, as he has done in years past. But he said, no, I'm going to try to get Paul on this gig. He actually went to the organizers and said, hey, I'd like to bring out another comedian, got them to pay me, and arranged all of these details so I could come out and do 15 minutes of stand-up comedy, so that instead of him doing 60, he only had to do 45. And he didn't ask anything from me in return. It was just him trying to support me and support my career. And, my friend Elizabeth Weichert from a week ago, who, by the way, we filmed a couple of videos which are going absolutely viral on her social media account. They are so much fun. I had so much fun with her. My family, who is just so supportive, really close friends of mine who, every time I call them up, it's like, let's go. What's going on? The friends who I've had on my podcast, my old work employees, Dan Rouse, Elizabeth Pitt come to mind, who were both on my podcast, who have just been so unconditionally supportive of me and my career. My friend Sarah, who, we've just become friends within the last couple of weeks, but every day we're checking in with each other. She's trying to find ways to support my comedy career. I'm trying to support her. She's now, speaking of the White House, she's now running to be a United States Senator under the Libertarian Party, just knowing full well she's going to lose, but that's what she wanted to do. And this opportunity came up and she felt inspired to do it, and she's doing it, and I'm trying to support her in that. And, a good buddy of mine, Dave Thurston, reached out to do an improv comedy show with me, and, we're working on putting that together. There are so many people in my life who I feel like they see me for who I am. They don't need me to be anything else. They don't want me to be anything else. They just want me to be free to be myself and to be my best self and to pursue my hopes and dreams. And that's all I want for them. And how grateful I am to be able to, travel and tour and do stand-up comedy and share my gift of comedy to hopefully bring some laughter to anybody who's maybe having their own, down days or their own struggles. And I get that opportunity to hopefully just bring a few chuckles to the world on whatever scale the universe sees fit to grant me. So just a really, really cool weekend for me. I am looking forward to being here in DC, and I'm going to go enjoy the sights now. I'll be here today and tomorrow before heading back. So thank you all so much. I hope all of your dreams are going well, that you're finding the things to be grateful for, that things are going well, you're finding joy in your journey. And, I really, truly believe in the American spirit. I do believe in going for what you really, truly want, that's in your heart. As long as what's in your heart isn't intended at all to be at the expense of somebody else, I believe in that. I believe in it. No matter how far-fetched it is, even if it's never going to happen, I still believe in going for it. I'm still pursuing comedy and acting with knowing full well that it might never actually happen the way that I want it to happen, but I still pursue it with as much energy and ambition and resource and talent and capability I have. And the pursuit in and of itself is fulfilling and joyful, and all of the ups and downs, and starting to see some unique fruits of that effort, and getting to just do cool random gigs and meet cool random people and start filming more funny videos and getting to travel and have all of these experiences, That doesn't mean that I'm content with that. I'm still pursuing bigger and greater things, but it's never at the expense of being completely grateful for this moment and what is right now. So, oh, hello, little squirrel. You can't see that squirrel. He popped over there to say hello. So, ooh, can I see this squirrel right there? Look at that little squirrel just running around, just enjoying his day. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to the Paul Green Comedy Podcast, March 4th, 2024. I guess that would make this episode 96. And I love you all so much. So grateful to all of you who listen. I hope that you are finding at least a little glimmer of inspiration as I share my journey on a daily basis, and hope that your life is going well, that you are finding the things to be grateful for, that you do have things to be grateful for, and you're out there pursuing your dreams. I believe in all of you. Go get those dreams. And just love you all so much. And I will look forward to talking to you. Ooh, look at that big tourist group right as they walk behind me. All right, everybody. I love you all so much. I will talk to you tomorrow.